and give you a direct quote from Robert's rules. In general, it is best not to respond at all to public comment. However, the chair may provide brief factual information if appropriate. The chair must not, under any circumstance, enter into a back and forth exchanges with the public. Council members should also refrain from speaking during this portion of the meeting. So I just ask you in your next 4 years, if you could not shout over people, if you could not argue back with them, just let the public comment period happen, say thank you, and move on. Thank you. Woo!
Good evening, my name is Mina Kavan. I'm a resident of the First Ward. I've been in Berwyn longer than many of you have ever been elected. I wish to declare my dissent to the changes to the open forum. I wish to begin with this point. The residents of Berwyn elected public servants, funded by the public to serve the public. During the season where many people of faith observe a sacred time of reflection, it is my hope that this elected body, which deserves some humility on behalf of the residents that they serve, in the spirit of my fellow citizens who marched with me and attended the Hands Off rally this past Saturday, hands off the open forum. Thank you.
My name is Daniel. I live in South Berwyn. When I came before council last, I expressed my fear that as our national political and economic situation deteriorated, our local government would not have our backs. It appears my fears were justified. With so many aspects of our daily lives hanging on the edge of a knife, Mayor Rivera, you've decided now is the time to also try to curtail our free speech. We've covered all of the bits and pieces of this measure that make it atrocious. We've covered how saying that we're falling in line with what other neighborhoods, with what other neighboring towns and cities do, is not a good argument. And so, I wish to pose some questions for everybody in the room. Shouldn't we be proud that Berwyn offers its residents a voice? Yes. Shouldn't it be a brag for our leaders to say, yes, we listen to our constituents? Yes. Shouldn't we be looking for ways to protect free speech? Yes. Shouldn't we be looking for ways to expand free speech? Yes. More democracy is always a good thing. So everyone in this room, we have an opportunity to build a legacy for ourselves and for our community of standing up for free speech. So all my residents here today, thank you for speaking. Thank you for being here. You've taken that step. Council, if someone motions to pull this public comment measure from the agenda, pull it. And if this abomination of a measure goes up for a vote, vote it down.
Luis Chavez, 16th and Ridgeland. You know, I've been speaking up at Open Forum for many years. And I remember the first time that I spoke up was, I think, in 2017, 2018. And it was because Chief Smaglia was trying to pass this ordinance to partner with a foundation so that foundation can serve as an animal shelter, because supposedly Wagon Tails was over capacity and needed to start partnering with a new shelter. I saw that item on the agenda. I saw who the partner was, who I had negative experiences with my own pets doing animal rescue for a couple decades. And I saw that this foundation wasn't registered with the state, didn't have a license to serve as an animal shelter,
And the ordinance that Chief Samaglia and that your lawyer, who still works for the city, were trying to pass said that animals could be euthanized. I spoke up about it, as I usually do before, on social media, before the city council meeting. Animal advocates, rescue folks, animal lovers reached out and said, hey, Berwyn has an ordinance that you cannot euthanize animals. And if we hadn't had that connection and wouldn't have had that opportunity to speak up on that ordinance would have passed. The chief tried coming in. I know I don't remember. Maybe one of the other 7 family members you have on the city payroll can remind you. Because there's 8 total of you. He tried passing a new ordinance last minute. And I was glad that Jeannie and Jose were on board, and they actually asked a lot of questions, and then it came back, and I think it was tabled. But in the end, because of open forum, because somebody spoke out and community and members connected on this issue, you didn't pass an ordinance that was going to kill animals, that was against an ordinance you all had already passed. Another issue I had talked about was the importance of getting Spanish translation, because 65% of Berwyn is Latino. Over 50% of households speak a language other than English. And I spoke up and said, why is social media, why is the website, why are so many forms only in English? There should be a comprehensive bilingual communications plan. Now, if you remember, that was 2019, probably August, September, and I had live streamed it, like I'm doing now, and you shut me down. You shut me down when I was giving data, when I was giving suggestions. You shut down the conversation. The next day, Chuy Garcia happened to have a town hall here. And an award-winning journalist named Jackie Cerato came, and she asked Garcia, what do you think about Mayor Lovero shutting down the resident yesterday that tried to get more bilingual communication in such a Latino community? And he said 2 things. He said, one, I didn't know about that. And he said that shouldn't have happened. I wish I would have known about that before speaking to Lovero. And he talked about the importance of organizing, which I need everybody to give each other a hand right now, because this is organizing. And this is what Garcia was trying to do. It didn't happen because of some organization. This was all word of mouth, neighbor to neighbor, because in Berwyn we have each other's back.
You may not have our back.
But in Berwyn we have each other's back. And then Chuy Garcia spoke about how important it is for communications to be bilingual. He spoke about the importance of language justice, accessibility. 2 months after that, lo and behold, Berwyn started making all their social media communications in Spanish and English, and started to translate more of their documents, and updated the website so there was a Spanish feature. Again, because folks spoke up, that change happened. There have been a million other examples, and you know that every time, you and I know, y'all know that usually there's only about 5 people here. But when there's an issue that's really important to our community shows up. And it's not going to matter if they show up at the end when you all have already voted. I want to know, after so many years of seeing you in that chair, winning election after election, why are you so scared of your own constituents? Why are you so scared? Somebody speaking up at a podium on a mic. Like, seriously, what frightens you? Even somebody overheard you at the last meeting say, oh, I survived that one. We'll see. Come on, man. Like, seriously. You're, like Prince says, act your age, not your shoe size. So please, you all, Woywood, have your legacy of giving people free speech. Lennon, I sued you because you blocked my free speech. You blocked me on Facebook. You cost this city $100,000 because you did not want to settle right away. All I got was $1. The rest went to lawyers because you did not want to settle right away. You can change that by voting in favor of free speech tonight. So please, Leisha, you're going to be around still another 4 years. Please, Leisha, look at people in the face. Be able to look at people in the face and say that you protected their free speech. Same thing with you, Richard Bob Bates. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Alex McKinley, 3rd Ward resident. My wife and I earlier today already proposed a long message to our Alderman Leja. Congratulations on your election, by the way, Richard. I do think you're a good alderman. So I will spare you all the details, all the point-by-point rebuttals that we wrote out for Alderman Leja. And I just want to humanize this for you all for a second. Tuesdays, I get home late from work, still in my work clothes. So at 7:30 this evening, I was sitting on my living room floor with my 3-year-old son. He's still already in his PJs. We were playing with wooden griot trains. Classical. He asked me to read him a bedtime story. I say, I'm sorry, Rishi, I can't tonight. Mom's going to have to do it. Apparently, I have to go to City Council and speak out in favor of free speech, which is not something I thought I would ever have to do in Berwyn. I've lived here my whole life. I tell you this story because I understand that time is precious. Very, very precious. And I know that you want to have more efficient meetings. But this is not the way to do it. Now more than ever, this is not the way to do it. So I would sincerely ask you to either withdraw this proposed ordinance or vote no. Thank you. Thank you.
I just wanted to say a few things on my mind. The whole concept of this enrages me. This is how I look when I'm enraged. I personally would consider a recall vote as opposed to challenging as before if it passes. But the other point I would like to make is that where are all the residents that are in favor of this proposal? Thank you.
I'm Elizabeth, and a 3rd Ward resident. I've never spoken at anything like this before. So that means, I guess it's a pretty big deal for me to come up and talk in front of everybody. What I wanted to point out, which one of my fellow residents helped me realize, is you have a council member participating remotely right now, but you don't want to allow us to do that. If we have to show up in person at the designated time in order to get our voices heard, how are you going to allow this, but not allow that? One day, you all will not be on the council anymore. One day, you may not be mayor anymore, and you will be here, and you will be wondering, how do I get my voice heard when I'm on this side of the council chambers? So I ask you to vote, not like a council member, not like a mayor. I want you to act like a resident of the town who would need this ordinance to be taken off the agenda or to be voted down. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody on the council, the mayor, and for all the residents that are here. I'm a newer resident. I'm in the 3rd Ward, and my grandmother grew up in Cicero, and coming to Berwyn was like coming home again. I had grandparents that lived in Brookfield, so this part of the Chicagoland area is just home to me. And one of the things I love about Berwyn in today's age is when you look around this room, seeing the amazing amount of diversity and the voices that we're hearing tonight. And I have to point out that nobody speaking is speaking in favor of this proposal. There's probably proposals that people don't feel a lot of energy behind, and they decide it's more important to stay home with your child. But this room is full of people that decided to take time on their lives to say, that this is not what Berwyn wants. So I hope and I urge all of you to vote no or to table, because this is not what Berwyn wants. Thank you.
If the residents of Berwyn will indulge me for a moment here, I'd like to exercise the 15 minutes that I have to speak a little bit. No, 15, no, fine, no. Apologies, my bad. So, if you will indulge me to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about the efforts of our lovely town of Berwyn to exercise a change that is similar to one of Cicero. Now, tonight I speak as a former resident of the First Ward, but I will gladly take a moment to proudly say I'm a resident of Cicero, and here's why I say it proudly. I ask you, in solidarity with the people here in Berwyn, to genuinely say this sincerely. Do not be like Cicero. Cicero itself has their minutes. They allow public comment at the end of meetings, and I can tell you firsthand, it's not great. Taking time to listen in all the different decisions that could have been addressed in the beginning of the meeting, allowing people to take that time to really voice their concerns before matters are voted on. It's important. It matters. It's very, very meaningful to hear what your constituents, what people here have to say before decisions that directly or perhaps indirectly affect them. I stand here telling you that in Cicero, it is not great to have leadership that tries to undermine the voices and opinions of a lot of different residents. Not many people take the time to really speak out, take time to really address the concerns that they have, because they feel like their voices don't really matter. I look at this room tonight, I genuinely am so happy and so proud to see so many people come here and speak out. It's a beautiful thing. I would pray to see the type of outspoken leadership from a lot of different residents that want to talk to you, to talk to their aldermen, to talk to the matters that are important to them, taking the time to maybe, just maybe, in the hope that possibly, that there is a chance that something comes up that brings a lot of attention, a lot of concern, that maybe something could be brought onto the agenda, if possible. And maybe, at the very least, maybe take an opportunity to speak passionately to the aldermen, to give them an opportunity to listen to reason, to listen to concerns, to listen to the voices of the people that they are representing, to do the right thing for their ward. I stand here telling you to your face right now, because I've been paying attention, I follow a lot of different things that happen in Berwyn, and I say this, and I say it passionately, because I contribute to Berwyn. I pay, help, I support the economy here in Berwyn. I have educated youth in the public schools, in District 98. I have supported the youth in private schools, like in St. Leonard's. I genuinely can say that despite not me being here, I am a proud Berwyn resident. I feel I'm a Berwyn resident at heart, and I will always be here and support Berwyn and its people. And I can honestly tell you to your face right now that you have campaigned during your mayorship, that you did not want to see Chicago leadership or people trying to run and trying to bring all these different ideas about, a lot of different changes, or like bringing all that Chicago politics into Berwyn. A strong community is Berwyn, how it is right now. A strong Berwyn is what's in this room right now. A strong Berwyn is allowing people the opportune time to let them speak publicly in the forum, the way how it is right now. You do not want to be like every other place, every other spot. Certainly, and I can say this without regret, you do not want to be Cicero. Not by any means. I encourage you, genuinely, to really consider all the voices that are being said here. And Mr. Lennon, if I may, I do, despite what anyone here says, despite anything that people can disagree or agree with whatever I'm saying right now, but I will say this, because your time here is about up nearly, I would encourage you, as a former First Ward resident, to please vote no on this matter. You have done a considerable job of maintaining and supporting First Ward, and I thank you for that. And I think your final vote coming up soon should be no on this decision. Thank you.
My name is Wanda Mejia. I'm a resident of the Fifth Ward. And I'm not going to underscore everything that everybody has said. I hope that the message is clear. I wanted to mention a couple things. Like others have said, I too work. I am here with my son. I've been here in my uniform, my hospital scrubs before speaking. I think the last time I spoke here was against voter intimidation by an associate known to Mr. Lennon and yourself too. That was Mr. Robert Maldonado, in case you don't remember. I wanted to mention a couple things. One, I wanted to ask if there could be more police patrol on Highland. There's constantly cars driving north on Highland, which is a one-way street facing going south. It's constant. I don't know if it's people trying to get to the laundromat, but I was nearly in 2 accidents in the same week from people driving in the opposite direction. This also happens on, is it 18th or 19th, where the studio is, where the old pool used to be. All the time there's cars driving in the opposite direction as well. I also wanted to mention the ineffective people you have in your departments, which I'm sure you know about, because many people have mentioned this before, but whenever I need services, I reach out to the appropriate department, not my alderman, and I leave messages, I send emails, I never get a response back, ever. The job somehow ends up getting done after repeated calls and messages and blah, blah, blah. But why do you have these people working in these departments if they're not gonna pick up the phone and just say, hey, I got your message, we'll take care of it, at the very minimum. My taxes pay their salary, I think, so, I mean, that's the least that they could do. Second, the rat issue, the warmer weather's coming. I was one of the residents that in my yard, in my paved pavers, the rats were digging through the pavers. We don't have any dog feces in our yard. We try to keep the yard as best as we can. There's no overgrowth on there. The gentleman from the rat company, Awesome, he's very nice, but it's just him and his wife and like one other person in the house. That's the only staff he has. It's not enough to help all of the residents in Berwyn. Third thing that I wanted to mention was if you want to control speech, you need to control these people right here who constantly interrupt while residents are up here trying to express their concerns. This is at every meeting that I've been to, and I'm sure it's at every meeting that anybody speaks here against anything that they believe in. That is annoying, disrespectful, childish. That needs to have a stop right there. Thank you.
I live in the 7th Ward, and I lived in Berwyn about 6 years now. I never really attended city council meetings before, I'll be honest, before the November election this last year, because it kind of made me want to get more engaged and involved in local politics. And it honestly made me feel really great to come here and see people speak and see people be engaged. And I got to know some other people that way. I've gotten to be able to feel like I'm able to help more at the local level. And I was able to do that because I saw people who were maybe sometimes frustrated, but at least they were passionate and they really care about where they live. Me and my husband lived here, we moved here 6 years ago. We kind of just picked it because it was in between Chicago and the suburb I was living. So it made sense to move here. It was a starter home. We thought, hey, at some point we're gonna move. And when we talked about moving recently, it was like, I don't want to move outside of Berwyn even. And even if we do upgrade to a different home, I want to stay in Berwyn because I like the people here. I like seeing people engaged. And the idea that right now, with everything going on, this is what you are prioritizing, is making people feel less heard. That's just, it's very, very upsetting. And I think you can tell that because there's a lot of upset people here. So please vote no, just either take it off the agenda or please vote no, because honestly, why would you try to stifle voices right now of all times?
I want to let this young lady speak, but just so you're aware, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot tonight. For relook and see what I can do to make it better. But please, young lady, please say what you have to say.
My name is Emma. I would like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to see my community in action, because it's just like really fun. I never really get to like see these things, and I just like seeing this stuff in person. It excites. It makes me happy, and I get to learn more things. That's all I want to say.
With that being said, I'm going to pull F3 from the agenda for this evening, so there will be no vote on it. I'll do my best to rework it so that it involves the concerns of what we've heard tonight. But we do have to, you have to understand, we do have to put some restrictions in because we do have to control this open forum. So I will rework it and we'll bring it again forward later, but I will rework it, okay? But I will pull it for tonight. Go ahead. Yeah, you can speak, young lady. Go ahead.
Hello, I am Eileen Burns. So I'm a resident of Berwyn, and I am very glad that we're at least setting the hard restrictions aside, because I do not believe that it's fair. We should be free to speak what's on our minds, what we think is good for our homes, for my community and everybody else's.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Julia Burns. And I don't really do this, and this is my first time doing this.
Lost her train of thought.
Thank you.
She's happy that you're happy to
Mayor, just before we get started, can I just say one thing? Can I make a suggestion that when you do rework the ordinance, that it gets brought to Cal so that we can have a discussion about it?
Do that.
Thank you.
Okay. I have see one, please.
Hello.
Mayor, Council, Frank, Cook County Commissioner Frank Aguilar, District, and I would congratulate the legal. Frank Aguilar, Cook County Commissioner, 16th District. I want to congratulate you, Mayor, and the electeds and the new electeds coming in. For the next, I look forward to working with each and every one of you. You know, I've been in a lot of council meetings, city halls, and this is the most largest attendees I have ever seen. And I want to thank each and every single resident here for coming. We need to hear from you. Yeah. You know, really, I'm glad to see it. It gives me energy that, we have council meetings and the county board. We limit it to 2 minutes. We don't really restrict it, but we have it in the beginning, first before we start session. So congratulate every single one of you. I was going to leave after this, but I want to stick around because I like to meet all of you. Okay, so I need to hear from you. Tell me what you want.
Lower taxes.
Try it.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, for drawing the item there. But just a quick report, and I have a resolution here that I want to present to you as well, and for your son. I've put on over $750,000 for residential flooding management program aimed to reducing residential structure flooding combined with sewage. That's one of my biggest priorities is flooding. I know we got hit a year and a half ago with this huge storm that affected mostly Cicero, but it hit a large time of Berwyn. In the Community Development Emergency Resolution Grant, we had over $1,679,000 in 22 grants. Violence prevention, victims supported, we supported over $5 million and 756,337 grants. And for small businesses, we gave them $3.4 million, 189 grants. I'd like to partner up with property tax events, and I'm going to do one with your assessor, Japanese Pareda. She's very active. She's probably one of the most active assessors in the district. I really like to see that. Really, it's something else. I've opened up a satellite office in Lighton Township for the north end of my district. I sponsored an amendment, and we're still working on it for the paid timely off ordinance that exclude park districts to schools. I've partnered very much with the Sheriff's Department for continuous safety training, carjacking prevention seminars, car safety, repairing headlights, and information initiatives that the sheriffs have. Partner up with Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Centers for the Bureau of Economic Development and bringing manufacturers' grants to suburban Cook. I've brought over $3 million in the 16th district for gun prevention reduction grants. Youth inroads got received, I think $1.5 million in that grant, and they're continuing to work against the gun violence. I'm the lead sponsor for an initiative of bringing a helicopter to Cook County Sheriff's Office to combat carjacking and assist the general public and assist your law enforcement in safety. We are the second largest county in the country, and we never had a helicopter. LA is the largest, they got over 20 helicopters. And helicopters are proven to be the most effective ways to go against carjacking. So I'm very proud. It's going to be unveiled sometime in June. It's a state-of-the-art helicopter. It has night vision and quick to respond against any crime, and it's also used for rescues. I brought the climate funding to reform grants in the 16th district municipalities to improve climate resiliency, including addressing flooding. Much more grants are available, and it's going to be a rough 4 years with this new administration in Washington. We're going to try as much as stretching dollars, and hopefully our budget funds will not be limited. So we got to work on that as well. Mayor, I have a resolution. I received many phone calls on your son.
Yeah, Frank, I know the county passed a resolution for my son.
Yes.
I would prefer that stayed with you and me. I'd rather not relive that here. So if we can possibly be happy to get that from you later, but I thank you so much for your efforts in that.
Yeah, well, the public called me up, and when the public calls me, I receive many phone calls. Your son was a very loved individual, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to stick around and say hi to you. I brought plenty of business.
Item C1, please.
Item C1 are the committee of the whole and regular meeting minutes of March 25, 2025.
I'll make the motion to approve the committee of the whole and regular city council meeting minutes of March 25th. Second.
Motion by Leonard, second by Roywood to approve the committee of the whole and regular council meetings of March 25th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item E1, please.
E1 is a communication from the Berwyn Development Corporation asking for street closure and other city services for the Berwyn Shops grand opening.
It would be my motion to approve this request from the BDC to close Clinton Avenue and Roosevelt Road for the Berwyn Shops grand opening on Friday, May 2025 from 6 a.m. to as well as for the
Second.
Motion by Carmichael, seconded by Pavone to grant the BDC's request for closing the street for the Berwyn Shops grand opening on May 2nd, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm sorry, opposed? The ayes have it. Item E2, please.
Item E2 is a communication from the Berwyn Development Corporation submitting the third and fourth quarter vacancy report.
Motion to consider informational.
I'll make a motion to accept this vacancy report as informational.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, second by Carmichael to consider the communications informational and thank the BDC for the vacancy report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item E3, please.
Item E3 is a communication from the Berwyn Development Corporation submitting the first quarterly report for 2025.
I'll make the motion to accept the BDC quarterly report as informational.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, second by Carmichael to accept the quarterly report of 2025 as informational. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item F1, please.
Item F1 is a communication from the mayor submitting the appointment of Aaron M. Dumpy to the Auxiliary Review Board.
I move that we concur with Mayor Navarro's recommendation to appoint Aaron M. Dunphy to the Auxiliary Review Board to complete the 3-year term expiring on April 25, 2025, and take the oath of office.
Second.
Motion by Leisha, seconded by Lennon to concur with the appointment of Aaron Dunphy to the Auxiliary Review Board to fill the outstanding term. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Aaron, would you come up, please?
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Aaron M. Dumpy, having been appointed to the Auxiliary Review Board in the city of Berwyn, in the county of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, support the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties of an Auxiliary Board member according to the best of your abilities?
Item F2, please.
Item F2 is a communication from the mayor with an ordinance reading, an ordinance implementing a municipal grocery retailer's occupation tax and a municipal grocery service occupation tax for the city of Berwyn, county of Cook, state of Illinois.
I'll make that motion to approve the ordinance, with the necessary signatures and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, second by Dave to approve the ordinance, takes the necessary signatures, place on its way to passage. All those in favor, and call the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Boywood.
Aye.
Leisha.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Pagone.
Aye.
Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item G1, please.
Aye. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Item G1 is a communication from the clerk requesting permission to destroy audio recordings of closed sessions.
Be my motion to concur with Paul and destroy the closed committee recordings and sessions.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Lennon to concur with Clerk Paul and allow the destruction or erasing of the particular closed session recordings as listed in communication. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item G2, please.
Item G2 is a communication from the clerk with staff recommendations regarding 4 requests for handicap parking.
Be my motion to concur with the clerk's office for the denial of the following zones and handicap parking spaces. 6444 West 28th Street, which is a zone. 1225 South Euclid, which is a space. 2703 Euclid Avenue, which is a space. And 3535 South Harvey Avenue as a zone.
Second.
Motion by Pavone, second by Carmichael to concur with Clerk Paul's decision to deny the request for spaces and or zones at the locations as listed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I1, please.
Item I1 is a communication from the Fire and Police Commission with the introduction and swearing in of Jonathan Sandoval.
I move that we accept this communication from the Berwyn Fire and Police Commission certifying that Jonathan Sandoval is the next eligible candidate on their eligibility list with an effective start date of 4/9/2025 as informational and have him take the oath of office.
Second.
Motion by Leisha, seconded by Roywood to accept the communication from the Berwyn Police and Fire Commission, the appointment of Jonathan Sandoval. Let him take the swear of the oath of office beginning April 9th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Jonathan?
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Jonathan Sandoval, having been appointed to the rank of probationary police officer in the city of Berwyn and the county of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and support the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of a probationary police officer according to the best of your ability? Thank you so much.
And Jonathan's family, come on up. You want to take a picture? Item I2, please.
Item I2 is a communication from the Fire and Police Commission introducing Stephen Areza as and to be sworn in as a probationary police officer.
I move that we accept this communication from the Berwyn Fire and Police Commission certifying that Stephen Areza is the next eligible candidate on their eligibility list with the effective start date of 4/9/2025 is informational and have him take the oath of office.
Second. Motion by Leisure, seconded by Roywood, to concur with the Police and Fire Commission, consider the communication informational, and congratulate Stephen and have him sworn in, taking the oath of office, and beginning 4/9/2025 as probationary police officer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, Stephen.
Please raise your hand. Do you, Stephen Areza, having been appointed to the rank of probationary police officer in the city of Berwyn and the county of Cook, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of probationary police officer according to the best of your abilities?
I do. Stephen's family. Want to take a picture with them? That's okay. Congratulations to both Jonathan and Stephen. Item J1, please.
Item J1 is a communication from the city attorney for Tuga with an amendment of an ordinance reading, an ordinance amending chapter 620, section 620.20 through 620.29 of the codified ordinances regarding welcoming city regulations for the city of Berwyn, county of Cook, state of Illinois.
Is my motion that we adopt the amendment to ordinance, an ordinance amending chapter 620, section 620.20 through 622.29 of the codified ordinance regarding city regulations for the city of Cook County of Cook, State of Illinois. Direct the corporate authorities to affix the necessary signatures and place it on its way to passage, and thank all of the community members who made this possible, including Stephanie Nance, for all their work on this amendment.
Second.
Motion by Pavone, seconded by Carmichael to adopt the ordinance amending the Welcome City ordinance of the City of Berwyn, affix the necessary signatures, place on its way to passage, and thank the community members that helped change this ordinance. All those in favor, on the call the roll.
Aye. Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Pavone.
Aye.
Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J2, please.
Item J2 is a communication from Fire Chief Caniglio recommending purchase of a Pierce Saber fire engine pumper.
I move that we concur with Fire Chief Caniglio and authorize the agreement with HGAC to purchase a new Pierce Saber fire engine pumper with financing through PNC Equipment Finance in the amount of $958,751, which will be financed over 7 years at a 4.7% rate, bringing the total cost to $1,149,352.05. This expenditure will be included in the fire department budget and has been reviewed by the finance director, Monica Martin.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Pavone, to concur with Chief Caniglio to allow the purchase of the Pierce Saber fire engine pumper for a total cost of $1,149,352.05 as financed over the 7 years. All those in favor of the call to roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Pavone.
Aye.
Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried.
Thank
Item
you.
J3, please.
J3 is a communication from Chief Caniglio requesting authorization to contact the Police and Fire Commission for the next 3 eligible probationary firefighter paramedics.
I move that we concur with Fire Chief Caniglio's request to contact the Fire and Police Commission to hire the next 3 qualified candidates from their eligibility list.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Pavone, to concur with Chief Caniglio. Chief Caniglio. Chief Caniglio on allowing to contact the Police and Fire Commission to hire 3 probationary firefighter paramedics. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J4,
Thank you.
please.
Item J4 is a communication from City Administrator Seattle Green regarding renewals for the police pension and, renewals for the police pension fiduciary fund and renewal of the fire pension fiduciary fund.
I move that we approve the policy for fiduciary insurance for the Berwyn Fire Pension Fund with ULLICO in the amount of $8,327 premium and fees.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Carmichael, to concur with City Administrator Seattle Green and approve the fiduciary insurance policy for the Berwyn Police Pension Fund with ULICO in the amount of $8,327. All those in favor of the call to roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Pavone.
Aye.
Aaronella.
Aye.
And Carmichael.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Do I have a second motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the policy for the fiduciary insurance for the Berwyn Fire Pension Fund with ULLICO in the amount of $5,411 premium and fees.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Carmichael, to concur with City Administrator Seattle Green. Approve the fiduciary insurance policy for the Berwyn Fire Pension Fund with ULICO in the amount of $5,411. All those in favor of the call to roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Tate.
Aye.
Pavone.
Aye.
Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
7 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, second by Carmichael, to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Automatic committee meetings. Alderman Lennon.
Call it, Chair.
Alderman Roywood.
Call it, Chair.
Alderman Leisure.
Call the chair.
Alderman date.
Call the chair.
Alderman Savone.
I don't have any meetings coming up, but I do want to let people know that I'm holding a beautification project on Roosevelt Road on Saturday, April 19th, with a group of youth leaders and community members. We'll be meeting on Roosevelt and Highland at 2 p.m. that day. And then I also wanted to let folks know to put it on their calendars, save the date. We're having another Youth Opportunity Fair. It's our third annual Youth Opportunity Fair on May 22nd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Ebenezer Church. This fair includes job opportunities for youth, youth resources, career pathways, and other fun prizes for them. And really the event is put together to celebrate our youth and bring them more opportunities and life chances within our community. Any young person aged 16 to 24 in the area is welcome.
Alderman Carmichael? I'm sorry, Aaronella. Alderman Aaronella?
Repeat that, Alderman.
Call the chair.
Call the chair. Alderman Carmichael.
Just wanted to remind people of an event happening just outside the A4 this weekend. A drive-through appeals event with Berwyn Township Assessor Jacqueline Pareda on Saturday, April 12th from 9 to 1 p.m. at the Joseph Velez Activity Center, formerly the DFW at 1529 Harlem. You just drive up and stay in your car, and they can help you do an appeal. Call the chair and motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Carmichael, second by Aaronella. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.